Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bad Storytellers podcast, where we turn bad writers into good ones, starting with our own local writing circle. I'm Josh LaForge, your host, and with me is Douglas Banks.
Hello.
Liam Malone.
Waka waka.
And Max Wessel.
Hello.
Before we turn on the mics, we read each other's writings, and then once the mics are on, we kind of talk it out. As well as everything we talk about today will be posted on the website, badstorytellers.com, along with the links to every book we talk about, every film we talk about, and our own writing that we've turned in for discussion. Now, we're going to go over retractions that are actually from last week because we lost an entire episode. I'm going to go into that a bit more in a minute here.
We're retracting an entire episode.
Yeah. Okay, so the first retraction is our last episode. Our second retraction is in the book Neverwhere. The character's name was the Marquis de Carabas.
Ah, Carabas, yes.
Yeah, he got his name from the character who owned the cat in Puss in Boots.
Ooh.
Because Neil Gaiman was like, what kind of person would own this cat? And that's the character he came up with. And also, we fucked up the final line of 1984. It's not I Love Big Brother, it's He Loved Big Brother, because it's not first person. And the guy who looked like Moby in High Fidelity was Todd Luizzo playing the character Dick. So we
Every bald white guy looks like Moby.
We recorded an entire episode last week, and the program we used to record it, which was Audacity, I guess I had to change some settings or something that I hadn't changed. But the initial settings that it came with made it so that all the audio was skipping every 10 or so seconds, and it was completely unlistenable. However, we recorded in 3 separate instances. So the only instance that wasn't screwed up was the trailer that we recorded. So as a little bit of a preamble, the trailer that we came up with, we rolled the dice and we got romance as a genre, romantic comedy as a genre, and hard sci-fi as a genre. So we came up with a romantic comedy that's kind of a play on Cyrano de Bergerac, where a guy is trying to woo a
male
mechanic.
human.
It's me. I'm trying to woo
A male
female
human is trying to woo a female human who is really into machines and technology. Possibly dildonics. We didn't go into that.
I was not there, but I listened to it, and I quite enjoyed it.
And he gets his robot friend, Killmaster 600, to help him. So Killmaster
Cyrano for him.
Yeah, Cyrano de Bergerac. So you guys are going to hear the trailer that we recorded because it's the only thing that survived that recording. Here it is, the trailer for Better Than the Real Thing.
Paul was a handsome, hard-working stiff from the lower levels.
Quitting time and the protein bar. Gonna get some tail.
But there was one woman he just couldn't land.
It's Rachel. I just can't talk to her. You gotta help me, Killmaster 600.
What are her interests?
Yeah, man. You're asking the right questions. She's into machines. Fixing them, plugging them in. I don't know anything about that kind of stuff.
I can provide assistance.
Together, they're gonna troubleshoot his love life.
Hey, Meat Brain, what are you doing in my yard?
You noticed that her vehicle's confabulator required equimenical calibration.
I noticed your confabulator. It needs calibrating.
Oh, yeah, it does. You know about machines and gears and stuff?
Your paternal caregiver was mechanically inclined.
Yeah, of course. My dad was a robot?
Excuse me? You said your dad was a robot?
Yeah, my mom built a robot. He raised me.
Good recovery.
Oh, that's really interesting. I'd love to hear more.
But when she finds out Paul was actually running Killmaster's program, things really start to overclock.
You prefer the cold touch of wrought steel to human skin?
Oh, yes. I've always found machines to be very sensual.
Elaboration is necessary.
Well, I synced my toaster. Other times I feel flushed when I notice my washing machine looking at me. I can't believe I'm telling you this, but other times I even find myself rubbing against my car's steering wheel.
I should warn you, I am a single operator machine.
Don't worry. They don't mean nothing to me next to you.
You're gonna need to bring your heat sink this winter to Better Than the Real Thing.
What about me? That was lovely.
Yeah,
I like that.
What'd you guys think? Yeah, it was pretty good.
I especially liked Doug's parts.
It was better than the real episode.
The robot
Yeah.
voice was great.
That was
I enjoyed
Tony.
it.
Tony,
Yeah.
yeah. Tony's not a member of this podcast, but he did it. He set up our recording stuff today. So, what about you guys? What have you guys done in the past 2 weeks? What have you read, watched, and recorded?
I rewatched Star Wars.
You saw it a second time.
Yeah.
This is The Force Awakens.
Yes.
Force,
Rewatched,
as I'm calling it.
and I started reading this book called Spade and Archer. It's a prequel to The Maltese Falcon. It's pretty good.
That's the modern one, right? Different
Yes.
writers? Yeah.
Different writer. I forget the name of the writer.
I started writing my character for this story.
Yeah, I already threw that away.
Are you character for what story?
Bowman, Mr. Bowman.
Is that a story?
Yeah. The Goblin PI.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know his name. Sorry, 2 weeks ago you brought in the Goblin PI
Yes.
story, and that's what we're talking about.
Yes.
Okay.
His name is Mortimer.
Mortimer Bowman.
Mortimer Bowman. Does he use a bow?
No.
Oh, good.
Is he an orc?
What?
He better be an orc. Yeah, all right.
He's an orc.
But I was trying to figure out how he was magically changed, and I'm doing character profile.
So- Oh, I should bring up because you said Star Wars. We're going to discuss Star Wars, but we don't want to hit people with spoilers. So we're going to do the entire episode, and then along with the trailer, and then after the trailer ends, we're going to let you know that Star Wars talk is coming up, and we're going to be spoilerific. But I think we can all say we all enjoyed Star Wars.
yeah.
Yeah, we all saw it.
Yeah, you should see it. If you liked Star Wars, it's
It's safe to love again.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And if you haven't seen it, you don't care by
Yeah.
now. So
Well, but that way, if you don't want to hear spoilers, you can turn off the episode and still maintain your purity, I guess. What else, Liam?
Oh, I reread Slaughterhouse 5. That's pretty much it.
It's a good book.
That's what I've been doing. It's good. I really liked it. I forgot how much I liked it and how much there was in it,
Very lighthearted and silly about very serious stuff. What
which is kind of my jam.
about you, Doug?
I watched The Long Goodbye.
Was it long?
No, it's actually a very reasonable length. It's the director is slipping my mind right now. How can I not remember?
You also saw Star Wars.
Yeah, I also saw Star Wars. But the long goodbye, it took me completely by surprise because it was a gift for Christmas. And I actually I'm recommending it to Liam because of the detective novel. This is a film
Seen
based
it.
on. Oh, you've already seen it. Let's say
If
you
it's a
haven't.
noir movie, I probably saw it.
Yeah, it's based on a Philip Marlowe book, so you're probably already familiar. Everything I recommend that you should look into, you've already done. So I need to just stop at this point.
No. Keep it up because I really enjoyed being like, no, Doug, beat you to the punch.
But it was great. Made me think about my writing in terms of like, oh, this is a character. It didn't have that much backstory. It just told the story. It didn't, it's classic.
It
hardball
didn't need to be an
detective.
origin story about the
No,
character.
yeah. So made me think about things that I'm writing. I also started reading Snow Crash. And I'm also started reading Ready Player One.
I
I got
want to
that-
read Ready Player One.
I got that for Christmas, and everything I've heard about Ready Player One, it made me be like, I ain't gonna like that. Like it's so it's nostalgia,
Yeah.
fanboyish, whatever, which
I
I
heard
am
it's
guilty
quite
of
good.
all of those things. But I didn't think it's like the type of book that I would write. So who would want to read that? You know what I mean?
Right,
so,
right.
but I read the beginning of it, and it's getting interesting. So far, Snow Crash really sort of grabs you by the throat and doesn't really let go. But
It's kind of impressive how much it commits to being so silly.
yeah.
But taking it so seriously at the same time.
Yeah. So on top of that, I saw Star Wars 3 times.
For real? Three times?
Yeah. Once,
Wow.
once for journalistic purposes, once with my mom, and then once with another friend. So every time I go, I see it with someone who's watching it for the first time and getting all the feedback and everything else. So other than that, just trying to finish working on my stuff. But that's pretty much it.
What about you, Max?
Well, I went to the movies 3 times to see Star Wars.
3 times as well?
3 times to see
Wow,
Star Wars.
I'm missing out
Yeah,
here.
now I'm feeling bad at 2. I was like, I'd watch it twice. That's enough.
Yeah, 3, I saw it 3 times, and I enjoyed it. I finished Snow Crash.
Speaking of which, Sunday matinee next time. Want to do it again?
Yeah, it's $5.
All right,
I
done.
heard it's $5, but I think it's only $4 more for those seats.
You have to go at like 11 a.m. though.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
be up
fine.
on
I'm just
Sunday.
letting you know. I thought it would be like before 5.
But $9 for those reclining seats, that's not too bad. We got to find out about that.
So you finished Snow Crash.
I finished Snow Crash, and I hated it. Yeah.
You didn't even like the stuff about the Nam Shabavanki?
That was cool and everything, but I hated the ending, I'll say.
Okay.
I hated the middle. I liked the beginning of the ending, and then I hated the ending.
What about,
It's
the,
like,
what about the beginning is what I just read. And so far, I'm like, this is kind of fun. Like,
No, the
it's
beginning
gonna
is
go-
great.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, I really, really hated the the ending of the book. The solid ending.
I liked
That was
YT.
terrible.
I liked the character of YT.
Yeah, no, she was cool.
And how she handled the bad guy.
But I had the reaction that you guys have to 1984 to it because it's so libertarian wet dream of like, this is what's going to happen. This is great.
I don't think it's a wet dream because everything's awful.
No,
Yeah. I
because
read
it's awful to you. But when libertarians read that, like, yes, this is how it should be. And I had that visceral.
How can anyone read that and be like, this sounds like a great plan? Like it's
No.
a joke how bad it is.
Yeah, but there
Like,
are
I'm
people out
literally
there.
laughing at how
but I
bad.
that's what they want. and
The
I
best
had-
hacker in
yeah.
the world has to run pizzas for the mafia. I don't think that's anybody's.
But I
He
had,
lives
like-
in a goddamn storage unit, like a 10 by 10 storage unit, and the only good thing about it is that you get to see the planes cut their cut in front of the sunset, so you get like a weird little flicker effect. He's like, that's kind of cool sometimes. Other than that, I'm just veg out.
I
with
had
my
like
VR.
a viscerally bad reaction to where I stopped reading the book for like 2 weeks.
That's on you, motherfucker.
Yeah, I think you're dealing with some very harsh preconceptions about the story because I
Or
just
maybe
enjoyed
or
it.
maybe just the goal of that. It's
No,
trying to
I'm
be
just like
serious.
reading it. I just felt so weird and gross by the world that he was living in.
Well, you're supposed to. It's a weird and gross world.
It's a
Yeah.
dystopia.
Last week, 2 weeks ago, you guys were crying about 1984 and how it hurt you, and
Yeah,
now I'm
it
saying
hurt.
it.
We
It's a
still
dysto-
loved it.
Nobody
Yeah.
reads 1984 other than North Korea and is
Yeah.
like, yes.
I don't know. There was order. Trains ran on time.
That's right. You were the only one defending 1984.
That's true. Yeah.
It's like,
No, and then I'm back on reading Turtle Dove again. I'm reading his
Of course.
young adult series, Cross Time.
It's called Across Time.
Yeah, it's about an Earth that is running out of resources, and then they figure out alternate time travel. Not time travel, but alternate. So they go to other Earths and like
Rob them blind.
Well, they don't rob them blind. They just trade, and there's so many of them that they fix the Earth's problems by just trading. So it goes through different cultures. Like there's one I'm reading about.
It's almost like a Wanted, where the
Yeah.
supervillains just go into different.
Yeah,
different,
but there's one where
dimensions.
like Rome survives but doesn't progress very much. There's a bunch of ones where America falls apart and all kinds of, and Europe, 4 out of 5 people die in the Black Plague instead of 1 in 3.
Wow.
So
That would be
Yeah.
a way different world.
yeah, so it's just that kind of, and it's good. It's young adult, so it's not the best writing, but I enjoy the stories. So I'm reading those again.
Cool.
And I saw Star Wars 3 times.
3 times. I saw Star Wars 1 time, and it was
You're the
enjoyable.
odd man out now.
Yeah, I saw it with my mom, actually. My mom wanted to see it. She's like, I hear that Harrison Ford's in this as Han Solo. I want to see it. That was my mom's reaction. She's like, I want to see it. I hear he's in it. I hear he agreed to do it. That's all I came here to see.
and she got it.
She loved it, and she loved Poe Dameron. Like my mom, like she's sitting next to me in the theater, and you know what? We'll save this for the for the end.
Yeah.
But yeah, she loved Poe Dameron. Also, I read John Carter of Mars. Sorry, John Carter of Mars is the movie. I read Princess of Mars with John Carter, the first John Carter book, and it was fucking awesome. It was so good. It was everything that anyone has ever liked about Star Wars, Flash Gordon,
Avatar.
Buck Rogers, Avatar.
It is, and it is amazing.
It is so good.
Yeah.
It was really enjoyable, and I think the thing that makes it a little more unique than those is that the perspective of somebody from Virginia who has no idea what's going on was like, well, you know, I tried, and then this was really difficult, and I didn't know what was going on, but my nature demanded that I act.
yeah.
And it was very, very enjoyable and relatable, and the characters are great. You really start to feel for the characters that are not human, even because there's a moment where there's a big reveal, and it's like, and that person that was wronged this way that you wouldn't know wants revenge is the person that is the alien that you like a lot, and it's like, oh no. All right, so let's talk about our own work, the stuff that we brought in. Liam, why don't you go first?
Yeah. Why don't I go first?
What'd you bring for us today, Liam?
I brought a short introduction to a possible story about the nature of time travel in a particular universe.
It was more of a setting, right?
Yeah.
Like a setting introduction.
I enjoyed it,
I enjoyed it as well.
but I feel.
Well,
as-
Liam, why don't you introduce it? Tell us what it is.
All right, it's just it's like a treatise on the 3 basic levels that paradoxes can be. One at the personal, one at the like civilization changing, and then one at the universe changing. And they're all interconnected, and that's kind of the big joke.
And all of them were kind of unavoidable, self-fulfilling paradoxes.
I liked it very much. But the trap of trying to write humorous time travel, and you just fall into the Douglas Adams hole.
I don't think that's a bad thing. I think
it's a
Douglas
bad thing
Adams
when you're
might be
trying
the
to
right way
write, and then you just look at it and you're like, oh, you know what I mean?
No.
No.
Yeah.
I too felt it was like Douglas Adams, but in a good way. But it was Douglas Adams like, except you had your own voice.
Yeah.
So,
No, definitely, it's your own thing.
But
Yeah.
my thing is like I said before, I feel like it's the greatest intro.
No, you didn't. You never said it before.
Yes, I did.
In the
And we
in
lost
the
it.
episode that we
you
lost.
never said it
But
before.
this is
I never heard it.
it's like the greatest intro to the funniest time travel story. Like this is you've set up the rules. This is the world it's going into. Now who are we about to follow? Like who's gonna break these rules? Or like,
I love
how's
it.
how's it gonna come?
I love the
Jamie
tone.
Pendergast.
Ooh, good name.
I love the tone.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed it.
Pendergast, isn't that the name of the kid from Paranorman?
No.
Norman Pendergast? Isn't it something like that?
I don't know. What
I have
that
no
is.
idea.
Retraction.
That's correct.
Preemptive retraction.
Racking it up. I enjoyed it. I would like a story based on it. I really like the first paradox.
Pulling a Conway? Was that it?
Yeah, pulling a Conway. When the dude went back in time.
And the
lost
whole thing
his
is,
memory.
if you bring that up, someone has to pull a Conway later, and they'll be like, "Oh, bro, you pulled Conway. All right."
Or rather, like somebody's having a really hard time with something. You don't know why it's so weird. And then you're like, oh, he's pulling a Conway. He's doing it right now. He just doesn't know it. And I can't tell him or else he won't have pulled the Conway. And then it'll be a paradox.
He will
that
cease to exist.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, did you have
that's-
any idea where you were?
That's my
were gonna-
story.
If-
No, none at all. I just
Even if you're going to continue it, even
I might. The whole idea that came up is I always wanted to write a story that just follows people who wanted to end all of existence, and not for any like super malicious reasons. They're like, oh, we're going to like rule the universe. They want to stop existing so bad they have to wipe everything out.
They want to have never existed.
Yeah.
I like your theme of, oh yeah, but you're still gonna have existed.
Yeah.
So you're still existing.
Yeah, and they just that infuriates them. I
would-
liked that. That was the original idea was that.
I would love a Hitchhiker's Guide to Time Travel.
Yeah.
I think that's what this feels like.
I would like a Liam time travel because I like Liam's humor.
Right.
I don't. I hate my humor.
I hate it too.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate when you laugh.
So we're just packing.
I have
this
a
in.
weird giggle. It's awful. It's a really bad giggle that I do not enjoy.
It's my favorite because it happens every episode.
It's true. It does happen every episode. So what about you, Doug? What'd you bring in?
I brought in an extended as compared to last time, outline for the screenplay for The Planet Without Christmas, which was inspired by the trailer that we created.
A
few
beautiful
episodes ago.
movie concept.
Yes,
Please
yes.
tell us
gorgeous.
more.
Well, as you remember, it's a sci-fi story about in the distant future when mankind has reached the stars and they've colonized all these other planets across the galaxy. Our hero is a delivery man who makes a delivery on this planet, and he's on his way back home. Trying to get home in time for the holidays. He has engine trouble, and he makes an emergency landing on this planet that has a small colony, and they've never celebrated Christmas. And ever, and he just decides to bring it to them. I did a little bit more world building on on this little colony and like what they're doing there, what kind of problems they have.
What's their industry?
Right now I've because originally we talked about them being farmers, but I'm like, well, farming. Why would you go to a distant planet just to farm? But then then we talked about like if they're miners, if they're like mining some material, and what I end up coming up with is they're mining a fictional material called uranium. And
Is that it's like one element higher than unobtainium?
we could we'll just say yes.
Uranium?
Yeah, uranium.
Uranium.
yeah,
not
So it's like an
uranium.
ore.
or
Yeah,
help them.
because I didn't know if it was an ore, like it's a metal ore, but I'm like, oh, it needs like an anium, like corbomite or unobtainium sound. So it's uranium.
I like
And the explanation is that uranium is a very rare metal that's naturally occurring on other planets, and by itself it doesn't really do much. But when you mix it with is it chromium and iron, you can make like a new alloy that's
So like a new stainless steel.
like a new stainless steel, like a super stainless steel that could use to create warp drive engines. So it's really valuable is the point. Valuable and rare. But the story goes as backstory for why the colony's there and why they haven't celebrated Christmas is that the colony was founded 50 years ago by people who wanted to get on this planet and start getting uranium. And at first it was just on the surface. You could just like walk and find it. Their little colony grew and people were doing pretty well. But after a while,
But still no Christmas.
yeah.
The children have picked it all up by hand.
Well,
now.
they didn't know how long they're going to be there. They're just going to be there for as long as they could find uranium, and everything was working great at first. But the problem is that this planet's the orbit is so huge. It's like 10 years for one solar like rotation. So they have a different time schedule than we do, and you kind of fall out of sync with the rest of society. And pretty soon, all that topsoil uranium was gone, and they have to start digging. And they have to bring in machines, and before you know it, they're working so hard and just trying to make ends meet that they don't really have time for celebrations and stuff.
Sounds like they need a union because they have the most valuable substance in the universe.
this
They're
is
the
kind
only
of-
people on the planet.
It's kind of prospectors. Like they're the only, basically it's a planet full of prospectors. And this is the future, so they're not out there with a pickaxe. Like they're out there with, like they have survey drones that just go around looking for stuff. Like you have to have eyes on it. You can't like detect
But they need
it.
a better deal overall.
What do you mean better deal?
They should just sell this for more money and work less.
Well, I think
you
the idea
can't-
is that they're probably going to do fine, but they have to stay there.
yeah,
Like,
you can't sell the planet. No one owns the planet.
Well, imagine if you were like a prospector and you found like
Done.
Let me imagine.
okay, you find a giant gold vein, like you're gonna have a hard time digging out all that gold, but you don't have a raw deal. You know what I mean? It's just hard.
Sure tootin'.
I would enjoy myself more with a gold vein now.
Yeah, you'd knock out a few teeth and go.
Yeah.
But now imagine you mine that vein and you did make some money, but now you know there's more gold around, but you can't find it. So more people, you start working together. The idea is that this community, at first it was kind of like all individual, like they were all like prospectors, just everybody was winning. But then suddenly they realized, oh man, maybe there's not that much left deep in the ground. Maybe it was just sort of like a meteorite maybe hit or something, and maybe we've gone through all of it. So the focus has shifted on this colony from the humans working hard to just mining it to now the humans are just working hard just to survive, like just with planting crops. Like most of them are farmers now. So the robots are doing, like the drones and these automated mining machines are just going out there digging all day, and they're not really finding anything. But the humans are living, I mean, low class, comfortable, I suppose, where it's like, like I said, they're mostly turned into farmers now, and they're just like they're running schools for kids and everything. But they're just hoping that one of the survey drones is going to find a new deposit and they're going to strike it rich, but it just hasn't happened. And they haven't found they'll find little bits here and there to keep the colony going, but nothing substantial. So like they're really running out of spirit to keep going. Like it's getting to a point where it's like it's been maybe like 12 years since they've really found something good.
It sounds like they need Christmas.
Well, they need something to raise their
Christmas
spirits.
will fix all their problems.
And the world building that I did was also that if each household has like they bring a drone with them, and they're like, okay, well, normally this is for you're the prospector, that's you're a drone, whatever you find you keep. But now times are so desperate, everyone just agrees, hey, let's all send out our drones together and just blanket, like have a line formation and just go out and search further than we did yesterday. And each house has like a drone chute for like the drone to come back, return, see if it finds anything. This little drone chute will be like the fireplace, if you will, of
What if
the-
our
chimney
our
Yes.
hero
Ooh.
helps them
is a drone.
find
That's the thing. That's
big
one
old thing of
one of the things
uranium.
right? And
That's the third act, right? When they're delivering presents.
Because the third act was like, okay, they deliver presents, but what's the problem? Like, the time problem is obviously a thing, but like, what's the worst that could happen if he doesn't reach every house? He just doesn't reach every house. That's not so bad. So the third act now is he's rushing around and he's trying to deliver the presents, and there's a miscalculation with the amount of energy that he had stored up in the shuttlecraft, and they have to make an emergency landing, and the emergency landing crashes. He crashes the shuttlecraft onto like a mountainside, and it's like, well, shit, looks like the adventure's over, because how do you come back from this? And but when they're on the mountainside, the end is now I've mixed it to where it's the mechanic who helps him the entire time. He gets his help to deliver the present. So it's like the two of them. It's like a twofer, like two-handed.
But then they
buddy.
find uranium.
Yeah, when they crash on this mountainside, they find basically like half the mountain is uranium.
Spoiler,
And the reason why you couldn't have detected it before is because it's like a snow-capped mountain that's like year-round covered or whatever, and the drones can only go by sight, so they can't unless you want to have a drone land and take a sample, but then you'll never get surveys done. So it's like a realistic reason why they may have missed something this big, and so it's like the Christmas miracles that okay, they crashed. We're gonna have to make these last delivery on foot, but we can save the town. We can still save the colony, and it's gonna be the best
I like
Christmas
it.
ever.
I can't wait to
I think
read
I think it's a great ending.
Can't wait to see it.
But yeah,
I'm looking forward to an even more detailed outline.
But yeah, like the actual details of scene by scenes are only about halfway through the film. I'm running into creative difficulties with what the protagonist. I want the antagonist. The antagonist is a good person, but he wants him to leave. I can't really think of a really great reason why they would want him to leave or not bring Christmas.
Space jingoism.
I think for a Christmas
Have you ever seen the movie The Postman?
Years ago.
The sheriff of the town wants the postman to leave because he's bringing hope to people who do not need hope because nothing is going to get better.
Right.
And it sounds like you could use the sheriff from The Postman in your story.
I had a similar thought about that, but it's just like
it needs
why?
for a Christmas movie. It needs to be somebody whose mind can be changed by the end of the film. Like he doesn't need to be defeated.
Well, in The
He needs to be
Postman,
converted.
the postman brings the sheriff a letter from his sister, and that changes his mind about the goodness of the post office.
Well, there you go.
But it's like
So a letter from his space sister.
But why would a colonist who's there to hopefully help, his fellow colonists say, "You're giving these people hope. Fuck you, let them die." Like I don't know, I can't think of.
Oh,
a
like false
realistic
hope. Like,
reason.
what are you going to do next year? Are you going to be back next year?
Well, I think the idea is that they think they're going to have to pull up roots and leave.
Right, I've heard
right?
that idea as well. It's like that maybe the secret is that this is the mayor of the colony, and he was like, "Listen, man, you're giving these people hope. They're going to want to stick it out. I didn't get a chance to tell them yet because you arrived very suddenly. We have to pull up roots. We were kidding ourselves. Like
I have to break the news to them.
Yeah,
Like,
I have to break the news to them.
it's
And
gonna
now
happen.
I can't do it. And now they're celebrating Christmas. We don't have money. We don't have presents. We don't have food. But we barely have enough to take care of ourselves. Now they want to have a Christmas party and a Christmas parade and all this stuff that they remembered when they were kids back on Earth. And we you're killing us. You don't know it, but it's already a hard winter. You're making it that much more difficult for us. You need to just leave. And that's the other thing too, is that he's like, he should just say, okay, I plan to leave to go home to my family anyway. So why would he want to stick around too long to bug them? But yeah,
Spirit of Christmas?
yeah, I don't know.
Because
Christmas.
kids, right? So like, there's got to be a kid that's like,
yeah, like the kid,
A
the
plucky
mechanic.
kid.
you're just gonna leave, Mister.
Right? But he has two kids of his own, So like,
Yeah, but he hates them.
Like all fathers.
No, I would say yeah, but they're well off. They're better off than these kids.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm close to figuring out like that
City
last,
dicks.
Sure.
That last middle second act bit of it before we get to the fun stuff of the.
I have
third act.
faith in you, Doug.
I do as well.
Thank you.
Believe in me, who believes in you.
What about you, Max?
I brought in a poem.
Yes,
A long poem.
Well,
he has
a
way
long
longer.
it's 8 pages. It's about.
He said it was a
man.
short poem, and compared to the Iliad,
Yes.
it is a short poem.
I felt like writing a long poem one day at work when I was working at a grocery store getting carts. So I started writing a poem while I was getting carts. It's about a man named Supersonic,
It's a good name.
and he grows
It was the second choice for my own child.
hydroponic crops in space, which are highly sought after by other people in space.
And the crops are marijuana.
Well, yes.
Yeah. Well, actually, cannabis.
Now, did you mean for that to be like a twist at the end?
No.
Because as soon as you said the king packed his bowl, I'm like, all right, I see what
No, yeah, that's totally. No, totally, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking it's just regular farmland. Like he has the only satellite full of like arable farmland.
No,
that
because
he's
then
using
everyone would be
hydroponics.
dead, and there wouldn't be a trillion people in the
Yeah,
galaxy,
true.
you know?
True.
No, he just makes really good weed, and
Makes the dankest weed.
people want it. And the
So
king,
it's like you made a poem about space Breaking Bad with marijuana.
he's like a
Yes.
space. I wanted to write about a space wizard who grows space weed, so I did. And the king of Earth really, really wants it, and he starts killing anyone who he thinks has it to get it. And the guy doesn't like that. Supersonic's like, nope, I don't like that. So he gives in to the king and gives him everything he wants.
Except for he doesn't.
Except for he
Yeah.
doesn't.
Except for it's explosives.
It's explosives
It was bombs the
from
whole
Neptune,
time.
and he blows them up, and then everyone's happy, and he goes back to growing space weed. But he doesn't grow enough for everyone. It just gets to you when it gets to you.
Right. You gotta wait for that good space weed.
Yeah,
You think
the good.
if he actually gave the space weed to the king, he would have chilled out?
No, because he would have just wanted more and more and more.
Weed is highly addictive, and
He
you
killed-
Habit
suffer
forming.
terrible
He killed 1 billion
withdrawals.
people
That is true.
To
He
get
did
it.
kill, yeah.
for like a pound of it. So
I liked it. I thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I hate it.
oh, Sorry.
I don't-
Surprised the guy who wrote that hated Snow Crashers so much.
Yes.
I don't.
Sorry, Liam.
I think it just glorifies drug culture, and like you shouldn't do that
And
because
we-
it's bad.
And weed breeds violence. Clearly,
Oh, definitely. Colorado has proven that.
it's true.
Very much so.
No, I liked it. I think it's good. I think you could use a lot of work on the rhythm for certain lines. Like
Yeah.
some words need to be added or removed to maintain the pace.
Also, you need to start using kennings,
Or-
bro.
What's the word? The meter. It needs to retain the meter.
You need to use what?
Kennings.
Oh.
I don't know what that is.
Kennings is in Norse poetry. They almost never refer to the same person by the same name.
Oh,
So
okay.
you have multiple names, and they're all called kennings.
I get that.
So, because I'm just saying, you said supersonic in that poem a lot.
Although when I read it aloud, it was really fun to say supersonic that many times.
it's about the experience, Liam.
He needs more names. Space Wizard needs more names.
So what I brought in this week was the second draft of the short film that I'm making for a friend of ours. It's mostly similar to the previous week, except for it has a lot more focus on Sadie's perspective once Sadie becomes Hassan, the stone. And I removed the explanation for things. Also, Sadie can only not speak in her native language when she tries really hard, and she's the only one who even attempts that. Everybody else is subtitled. What do you guys think?
I liked it better than the last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an improvement.
A lot more condensed. I like.
Okay, yeah, it's
More
like 2 pages or like a
extra
page and a half
pacing.
shorter.
Yes.
The black soot in everyone's face made it easier to keep track of like what was going on visually.
Mm-hmm.
Even though similar thing pretty much happened in the first draft, but for whatever reason I felt it was much easier to follow like who was helping who got the soot in their face, who suddenly turned bad,
Who was possessed.
yeah, who was possessed. I think we talked before about the like the cutting of the face.
That was the original thing I was using for it.
In this one, it's like the creepy cut patterns being like that's like the leader, and everyone else has got like the black soot face.
Right.
It's creepy. It was good. It was effective.
Okay. My goal for the leader, which I didn't really get into, was that I want her to feel a little bit more like Pinhead from Hellraiser, because there's so many good moments. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Hellraiser, but when Pinhead is first introduced, the main character, the girl Christy, I think her name is pulled back, and like one of the Cenobites, Chatterer, puts his fingers in her mouth so she can't talk. Pinhead walks up to her and wipes a tear from her cheek, and he goes, "No tears, please. Such a waste of good suffering." But it's so emotionless and ominous. Like that's kind of what I want for Brinley at the end when she becomes.
My only thing is the satisfaction of Pat dying wasn't there as much.
Right. Because
in
you
the
don't
first-
hate her as much.
Yeah. I really hated her in the first one, and seeing her dead was great. So maybe bring that back a little bit.
Now, I talked to Malachi, the guy who I'm working with on this one, and he and Malachi didn't realize that the characters were speaking in subtitles the whole time. He had a hard time tracking that because I used a kind of a little less obvious way of managing the subtitles, where the characters would speak in subtitles and they were italicized, but it said they were in subtitles, and from then on, whenever they were speaking not in English,
It was just italicized.
it was
Yeah,
italicized.
no, I picked that up.
Okay. One of the problems that I faced is that the character Pat, when she's supposed to take Mike's hand after Sadie tells her it's okay, Malachi didn't believe that would happen. That Pat would actually do that. You know, she'd be like, "Screw you! I'm not doing this." What do you guys think? I can totally see where he's coming from.
Well, I can see that based on like the previous draft, especially where she was just like, "Fuck this," you know, like "Fuck the fucking woods," you know, like someone who's already so unhappy. Then people start murdering each other, and it's just like, I want to get out of here, you know.
Well, I think the human brain is just like she would be so terrified that her brain would make her believe that it was going to be okay. Like you rationalize so much in that kind of situation where you're like, no, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Because that's the only thing you can think about. So if someone was like, no, it's going to be okay, I think she would be like, her brain would make her believe that it was going to be okay.
Do you think if I put her, if I kind of illustrated her inner conflict about taking Mike's hand, that would be a little easier to swallow?
Yes.
Or even if the whole thing, she's like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
Right. And then Mike stabs her.
Yeah.
So then maybe she just doesn't have to take Mike's hand. Like maybe Mike just sort of just like steps aside and she just walks that way. It doesn't have to like be like, You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't like that.
I was thinking about that
know.
too. I think the problem that I'm facing, because I tried to draft what was like that. The problem that I'm facing is that the act of taking somebody's hand is so symbolic of trust that there's no real equivalent. You know what I mean? For that kind of betrayal. Once
What about a trust fall?
Like he's gonna give you a trust fall.
Yeah.
This is an
He's
ancient.
gonna
falls
prove to you
backwards.
that it's
This is an ancient alien Native American that understands the concept of trust fall.
no, because trust falls are universal.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they do. They do that in the Middle East.
That was the whole point of pyramids, actually.
Elaborate, please.
Well, they had so many steps. They would just line up people, and then they would do trust fall domino. And the person at the end would catch the whole village.
First at the end would be shot into the Nile River.
like tiddlywinks.
The person at the end would catch the whole village, and then they would come together as a people.
Okay, I'll buy that. I mean, that matches the archaeological record.
Well, come on.
But yeah, I didn't.
I do have a bachelor's degree in history.
Wow, a whole bachelor's.
It didn't bug me. I
didn't even notice
No,
it
I-
until you
okay.
mentioned it.
My only
Now I'm
issue is-
kind of like, yeah, maybe you could sand that down.
That could
but
also
it's
be an
not.
actor decision. You know.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. It's
A lot of notes I got were very much about dialogue and the order of which somebody spoke and how it could be better if it was a different order. And I agreed with a lot of them. I just at the time when I was hearing the feedback, I was just like, well, a lot of that I think could come out in editing. Like, try it 6 ways. You know,
Yeah, my
like,
only thing was like for a local short film, you'd focus on the effects of the Milky Way a lot.
Yeah,
But that's not really a writing thing, more of like a movie making thing.
yeah, it'll be an After Effects thing. Well, the reason why I did that is because I know Malachi has been experimenting. With
Oh, he can actually.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah, absolutely, yeah. That I mean, he's been primarily experiencing with what is it, the smoke tank? Where
the
it's
cloud tank. or
the
whatever,
cloud
yeah.
tank, yeah,
Hydrogen
the cloud tank effect.
peroxide and milk and yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it looks
cool.
it looks great. He's done a lot of experimentation with that and with creating
Nice.
galactic like scenery with plates and backgrounds and pollen and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
So that's one of the things I wanted to feature in it, just because I thought about that. But do you think it works as a visual
Definitely.
visual kit?
Yeah.
Okay.
The one thing I think I said before was after like the first scene, like around the campfire, before Brinley starts running back, like we in this one shot we see her get up and leave, and then they say, "Oh, yeah, it's a beautiful night." Immediately cut to Brinley running through the forest, like the shit's already hit the fan. And I suggested another cut, like maybe cut to the sky, just establish what the
Right,
normal
right.
sky looks like, because you even have the line. Pat says, "Oh, not." Everyone looks up, and Pat says, "Not a cloud in the sky," and we don't see it.
Malachi gave me a very similar note.
And so, but that's really the only thing, because that also bridges a sort of gap where you don't know how much time has passed since you cut. Then you cut to Brinley running. You're like, has it been an hour? Has it been 5 minutes? And it's like I'm reinterested again, and then it's whatever. Whereas when it cut before that, without any of the wherever, literally in the same shot, we see her walk away, then just cut to she's running. It's like it was just a little jarring the first time I read it. But since I already read another draft, I knew what was happening. But for someone, I'm trying to picture it like in a screen in my head, and visually trying to see that happen was like a little weird.
One of the challenges I ran into is that I really wanted the story to be from Pat's perspective, Sadie's perspective, the moment that Sadie gets possessed. But it's really hard to do that without camera talk, and I feel like this is one of the instances where I really should have used camera talk.
Well, you can, because you're speaking directly with the person who's going to film it.
Yes, but also I think even if I wasn't, it would be more helpful.
Yeah,
because
as long as
there's
it tells the
things like
story.
there's where you're not using it as a crutch. You're just like, listen, this is from over the shoulder of Sadie. She's watching this unfold, like that kind of thing. It would be much more indicative of the final product. But I shied away from it because of the bullshit screenwriting rules that everybody thinks are inviolable. You know,
I'd just say go for it, and if it doesn't work, take it out later.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I think in your case, it would actually might even help,
yeah, I think specifically in this instance, it would make it more clear of how this is supposed to look.
because it's a short that you plan on filming, and so the closer you can get it ready for production, like the better it'll be for you guys.
The hard
So,
thing will be finding actresses. Finding actors, I mean, guys are friends with tons of guys. You know, you're going to find at least one person who can fulfill each male role. Cause there's
I'll
only
die.
two.
I'll die in a heartbeat.
I'll do it right now. Fuck it. Yeah, but finding actresses who are interested will be difficult.
Yeah.
Just put an ad, be like, "Hey, ladies, you want to go out in the woods?"
Do you want to go out in the woods
Cameras?
to pretend to be a weak person and then a really strong person? That'll be interesting. Yeah, that's what I brought in.
Me and my friend want to film you in the woods.
Yeah, do you want to go in the woods with a bunch of guys and pretend to die?
So I've also been working on the chaptered outline of my novel, the Malcolm Hatt script, and I want to turn that in next week. But I've got probably a version of it that's ready to turn in. But I'll turn that in next week to you guys, and then I'll start working on it by chapter, so you guys get actual prose.
Cool.
But right now I've got 35 chapters worth. I'm gonna try to pare that down to less chapters, maybe 30 at max, and build scene by scene until it's a complete story.
Your writing style still is.
Yeah, it's still
Mystifying
it looks like kanji and Tetris to me.
So at this point in the recording, we lost a lot of audio where we found out which genre of bad story trailer we were going to record. The roles we got gave us the genres of Western, Planet and Sword, and Detective Story. So the discussion you're hearing now is after we have established those genres. Enjoy.
All right. So is the cowboy detective, or is he a cowboy who goes to a detective?
Or is there a cowboy and a detective on another planet,
And they go
buddy
somewhere
cop
else.
style?
Buddy cop. I was thinking, what if
I think you guys are taking the cowboy thing a little too literally, because it only said Western,
Yeah.
which does not.
What if he's a
necessarily
cowboy
cowboy.
who goes to a planet of detectives, and the detective
I want a cowboy so bad.
they're trying to figure out how to send him back because he's such a
A
dick and won't
cowboy
stop
that
shooting
goes to a
things.
distant planet already happened. It was called Princess of Mars.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
it's
There's a man
basically-
from Virginia.
Yeah. So
No, but he's
instead
such
of-
a dick that
Prospector.
the whole detective story is trying to figure out how to send him back to his planet because everyone hates him.
I'm leaning more towards the idea of like because we have to mix these, right?
Yeah.
We can't be all things to all people all at the same time. So instead of sword and planet, why not 6-shooter and planet?
Yeah.
And then the detective ends up there.
Well, I think that's fine. I think. So what if they've like just discovered like the revolver,
Right.
and they're like really heavy, but this guy has used a revolver on Earth. And
It's the old
No,
it
screw
could-
that. He
Dude,
just has a 45.
Yeah.
He's like,
it could just be what's more interesting, a modern detective going to an old west planet of aliens, or a cowboy detective era like a sheriff going to that time.
I think a modern
Monk.
detective.
yeah.
Monk goes back to an old west planet and he just freaks out.
And
because
nobody,
he's such a jerk.
everything's so dirty.
Yeah.
And
he
Tony
just-
Shalhoub is like,
he shoots
"Oh."
himself in the brain.
So I'm thinking modern
The revolver
detective.
exists for suicide.
Yeah.
and
It's
that's,
like-
that's it.
So modern detective goes to the Knights of Sidonia music video
Right.
and fuck shit
Is
up.
that a thing that exists?
So let's think about this planet. Where is this planet? Alpha Centauri. That's an easy
fictional,
sci-fi
yeah, just-
sounding
what's,
location.
What's the
It's in the Crab
no,
Nebula.
no. What's the galaxy that's spiraling our way?
Andromeda.
Andromeda. It's in Andromeda. He wakes
Andromeda
up.
is 5 times the size of ours.
Yeah, somewhere in Andromeda.
Okay, so it goes
It's
to
going
the
to eat us.
goes to a planet in the Andromeda galaxy that has just discovered the revolver, but they have robots.
How do they have robots if they just discovered the...
Why not?
Because robotics wasn't implied in the genres. It's just sword and
Yeah,
planet.
electric motors made complete sense to them. Combustion seemed stupid.
Okay, well let's think. So the planet is
Because the idea is sword and planet was implying that it wasn't very advanced. But if we take the Western aspect and apply it to that, it's not far enough advanced for robotics, but yet it has that Western theme.
so sword and planet. All right, what if it's an alien landscape? Everybody's fundamentally non-humanoid.
Let's just take it
Unlike-
like 2 seconds to wipe John Carter out of our brains.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That desert planet. Or
Yeah,
whatever,
I just finished Princess of Mars, and it's too great.
yeah.
It is too good.
So I'm thinking original series Trek background atmosphere where
Lush
it's like those rocks
green.
that kind of those
Right.
weird
Right.
weird
Let's
rock
think
formations.
lush green jungle planet.
Okay, and a murder happens on this planet, and the people look like lizards. Maybe
Excellent.
Yes, lizard
lizards
people.
are good. Everybody cool with lizards?
Yes,
Yeah.
lizards.
All right. So lizards.
Do they like sleep sex?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, they totally
Stop
do.
it. I saw this Vine that was like, it was like, hey, look, a snake charmer. And he plays like a flute for 2 seconds, and he goes, "Snake, you looking fine as hell." and then he pops his own head out of a basket and goes, "Stop." Something like that.
Excellent. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
That's what I want.
So lizard people on this planet, jungle planet specifically, And one of them has died mysteriously. And this guy's there, and they've kept him caged up. And he's like, I can solve this murder.
I'm a great detective where I come from. Now, is there like tribes going to go to war and stuff, or is this like?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, no, because then it can be politically motivated.
Yeah, it's Sword and Planet.
I mean, that's going to Sword and Planet, but like solving one.
So
random...
lizard people versus bird people.
Yeah, because if it's just
Bird
one asshole's
person
death,
approves.
like who cares? One person was murdered on this planet where
The
that happens
avians.
every day. But if it's like, no, our king was murdered,
the chief
or something. Yeah.
When I hear bird people, I just think of Flash Gordon. And
Gordon's alive.
Ming the Merciless.
I just think of bird person.
So bird people. Because here's the thing: like with a John Carter epic hero story, that's one thing. But we're talking detective story.
Yeah.
So it's like there's definitely a crime someone was wronged, and it's about solving the crime, not about leading them to battle.
Okay, so there's
It's averting the war.
to stop the war.
So he's captured by lizard people who are like the more barbaric of the two, and the bird people are a little more civilized.
Like the Klingon versus Vulcan sort of thing.
Yeah, but
You mean Romulans?
Or Romulan in this case. Yeah, you're right. Romulan more. In this
but
case.
a bird but one of their people has been murdered. But it turns out it was they think it was by a family member of the chief. So it was like the chief was murdered. They think it was by the family member. Turns out it was bird espionage.
Bird
well, wouldn't
espionage.
it? How would the war? Wouldn't it be?
Avian
They think it was a bird person, so they're gonna go to war.
Avian spionage.
Wouldn't that make more sense for a struggle between two people?
Did we just write Ace Ventura when nature calls on another planet?
Chicago.
So they think bird people killed this relative of their king, and they're gonna go to war with the bird people, and he does his Wild West detective thing.
And finds out it's another lizard person.
Wait, what was the number for Western?
40. Well, oh, sorry. 41 was Sword and Planet, and then
41,
we had
100,
100 and
then
90,
95?
95. Yeah.
It says Western, not Wild West.
Right,
Right.
that's what we said. Western.
Yeah. We're not trying to make a Wild West.
So we could do like Brokeback Mountain Western too, like goat farmers and stuff.
That's a love story, not a Western.
That's a romance. Oh, it's tragedy as well. By the way, that's a really great movie. If
What
any
is-
of you,
what
if
is-
you guys haven't seen Brokeback
And the
Mountain,
setting is often described
because of the
richly
premise,
and
you
in
need
depth.
to see it.
It is very setting based, untamed wilderness.
There's an untamed wilderness.
Yeah, I'm just setting up Western because
So basically, Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls, except for not a comedy.
and no
No
jokes.
No with two twos
Chicago.
versus.
Yeah,
It's just that there was a murder that happened, and now they're gearing up to go to war. So so the Western influence can be the level of technology that they're at.
yes.
And
The kind of jails they have.
yeah.
Bird people have Western technology.
Right.
What if a bird person is murdered by what they think is a lizard person? So they're gonna go to war, and then he's averting.
So he's captured by the lizard people, but then the birds are like, "You killed
You
somebody,"
killed it, and he's
somebody.
like, and he's like,
"No, we didn't."
I'm gonna get to the bottom of this.
And they're like,
Yeah.
well, no, you're just gonna say we killed him. We didn't kill him. We didn't kill him. And then he's like, I could investigate. I'm a
Impartial.
a neutral
impartial
party.
third party. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he finds out, he looks at the body, he's like,
Oh, and who really killed him?
this guy was shot.
A pig person.
Mind blown.
You didn't even know there were pig people on this planet.
You will remember the pig people.
It's like the
The mole
Valcomer,
people, they come up out of the ground like, finally, our day will come.
Valcomer classic.
They'll destroy themselves.
All right, so what do we call this film?
Give us like 3 minutes to think.
He's gonna say
here's
concrete jungle.
Here's something to consider. Is our main hero? He's the detective. Is he like police detective or is he private?
He's
eye?
Gumshoe.
I think he's just outside source.
He's
just-
Gumshoe. Yeah, he's Gumshoe.
Private eye.
Yeah.
Private eyes don't really solve murders though.
They
Can we
could.
call
They
it
do.
gun shoe?
No.
That's not relevant enough.
But he's a gumshoe with a gun.
Does that have to be a pun?
Murder most
No,
foul.
no, it doesn't have to be.
Oh God!
Yeah.
That's a good pun. A murder most foul.
Can't do that. Dude, if we do that, it's gonna turn into a comedy. It's just-
That's great. Murder most foul.
I'm really happy with myself right now.
That was a good one.
I'll give you that one, man.
Yeah.
That's
I'll give
great.
you points on that. But it's what if it needs to be something.
2 brownie points.
Something. It needs like a pulpy title of because it needs to have a pulpy title because of the sword and planet influence, but also the detective
Something
influence.
like In the Old West or something.
Something about like a case.
Oh wow!
Of something.
Oh
So we've got a choice between Murder Most Foul.
no, it's not a real choice.
And what's the
we need like a pulpy, snappy. Like, what would a detective explain that situation? Like
the darkness between the stars?
That sounds
No,
that
that's
sounds like something that's
too-
already existed.
Yeah.
Didn't I swear that sounds like
Is
the
it?
real-
I'm gonna look it up right now.
something? This is awful, but something like death in the Andromeda Galaxy or something like the case of the something.
No.
The case of the missing Vectron.
Every planet has a West.
Let's see here. So
Western skies.
Yeah, Western space. Cowboy detective and space cowboys.
Sure.
Yes.
the human who landed on another planet and was forced to solve a murder.
2.
Yeah, the sequel. Okay, so there's a book called The Dark Between the Stars by Kevin J. Anderson.
How I landed on a planet and solved a murder case, stopping a war between bird people and lizard people.
A true
How
story.
I
by
learned
IP Freely.
Yeah.
But
I learned to trust myself.
Or PI Freely. He's a PI.
How I learned to stop worrying about the bird people and love the lizard people.
Yes.
It's called Lizard Stockholm Syndrome.
How about the wings of space?
Moida.
I think you're on the right. You're on the right track.
The
Scales of justice. Because they're lizard
God.
people.
No, I like that. I like that. I'm with it.
It's a detective. It's a detective though. It's not a.
But he's
not a
doing
courtroom
getting
thing.
justice.
Yeah, but it's
And they've got scales.
What about
he's got to solve this crime, otherwise they're gonna kill him probably, and it's gonna stop a war too. So.
what about
What about? Oh, dude. Oh no. What would they? How would they describe this human? Like the man with the 45, or the man like the guy from another star, or the detective.
The man with no scales and no feathers.
Yeah, the
Freak.
The naked man.
the featherless
Yeah.
bird.
Freak of
the
nature.
featherless bird.
the naked gun?
Justice of the naked man from beyond the stars.
How about naked justice?
No.
It's like naked lunch.
There's two things wrong with that title.
Something with nests. Birds and
No.
lizards both
Stop
have nests.
thinking that. No. Go
I just
pulp.
want puns.
Go pulp.
I don't
No,
like
we're
pulp.
out of puns.
I like
there
puns
already
better than
was.
pulp.
Hey guys, got some bad news. Now, we lost a lot of audio doing this recording, and we lost the end of the discussion of us naming the trailer, which is A Dark Lightyear. And we lost the end part of the actual recording of the trailer. So, what you're going to hear is me acting out the extra parts that got lost in recording with much shittier audio quality at the end of the trailer. So, I apologize in advance, but hey, this is free.
Detective Richard Anderson was scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Richard, I need you to follow my wife again. I think she's cheating on me.
I followed her the past 6 weeks in a row. She's cheating on you. Listen, I know you got some weird thing going on wanting these pictures. Just leave me out of it from now on, huh?
But when a strange artifact lands him on a distant planet, his demographic shifts dramatically.
Pink creature, are you reptile or avian?
Neither. I'm human. I'm human.
Yes, but are you a reptile human or an avian human?
Neither.
When a murder threatens the fragile truce between reptile and avian kind, Detective Anderson's qualifications show their value.
The Emperor's hatchling is dead, and we know the lizards are to blame.
Defamation! We've honored our truce.
What honor does a lizard have? You will have a hard time proving that here.
Hold on. I can find out the truth.
You, an alien?
And why should we trust you, pink one?
Because I ain't got a dog, bird, or iguana in this fight.
But what he finds leads him to a darker truth.
The murderer escaped through this hole in the ceiling of the nursery.
What are you implying?
Tell them, alien man.
The murderer escaped through the top window. Reptilians can't fly.
Follow the twists and turns beyond space in A Dark Lightyear.
This is a murder most foul.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so that was the episode proper, episode 5. Talk about Star Wars. We're going to talk about
Episode 7.
Yeah, episode 7, The Force Awakens. And there's going to be a lot of spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, please don't finish this episode until you have.
And if you have, message us with all of your Star Wars-ness.
All your theories.
Everything you hate about what we're about to say.
Now, I think I interrupted a story that I was telling where I was in theaters
About your
with my
mom?
Yeah, I was in theaters with my mom.
Let's hear about your
She likes
mom.
Poe Dameron, and when he supposedly may have died, but you don't know, and then he shows up in the X-wing, and the X-wing show up, and then it cuts the inside of the lead X-wing, and
Follow my lead, boys.
yeah, follow my lead. My mom like elbowed me in the side, like, like, he's back. I was like, oh, okay, cool, you like him, great. But yeah, that movie was a Star Wars movie for people who
like Star Wars
Star Wars movies?
No. I think for people who people were thinking that the prequels were going to be for the movie, like, oh, it's a new generation of Star Wars fans. These are going to be for them. It's like, no, this is a great intro for people who haven't seen anything for Star Wars. But my mom had seen Star Wars. She loves Harrison Ford.
I love Harrison Ford.
Poe Dameron also has my favorite line in the entire movie.
The opening.
Yeah, the opening.
Yeah.
Who talks now? Do I talk now?
Who goes first?
Hard to hear with that mess.
Do you think it's
So funny.
Do you think it's a coincidence or intentional that the very first spoken line of dialogue is Max von Sydow saying, "This will hopefully make things right"?
People arguing about that online. You know what? The answer is I don't give a shit.
I'm just curious. I'm just throwing it out there.
No. Because I haven't answered that question. Yes, it does.
Because I want George Lucas to feel bad every day.
The moment I saw that Max von Sydow was in the movie, I was like, oh, great! Like
He belongs.
I love Max von Sydow.
And
He's
then
dead.
he dies.
Yeah, well, Max von Sydow doesn't die, but that character does.
He
No.
got cut with a
Yeah.
lightsaber. Pretty sure he's dead.
Yeah, Max von Sydow is fucking amazing.
Also, that is a perfect Star Wars name already.
Yeah.
Max von Sydow? Yeah. I loved him as King Osric in Conan. That's one of my favorite scenes in any movie, even though Conan is like,
His performance
oh, it's amazing. He's so good.
is a master class for anyone who considers himself a thespian.
Yeah, it's like you have to watch Conan where Arnold Schwarzenegger's like,
I dated a thespian once.
I'm going to punch this thing and I'm going to hit it with the sword.
Then I hit the camel and then
The riddle of steel. but then he's dealing with Max von Sydow and James Earl Jones, who give amazing performances in that film.
Yes.
Doom.
And now both of whom are Star Wars actors.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I used to have a toy dinosaur that had the eyes of James Earl Jones.
What does that mean?
It's the same eyes that James Earl Jones does in Conan.
The piercing
okay.
eyes.
No, the snake eyes for when he Thulsa Doom,
No, when he's just James Earl Jones' eyes in the movie.
the blue eyes.
Yeah.
He's wearing the contacts.
Which also, like the Chewbacca figure I had that had Jesus eyes, and that always creeped me out.
Oh,
You're paying attention to your action figures' eyes way more than I ever have.
Just sat there, looked in their eyes.
Yeah. Tell me the riddle of steel.
yes. Do you know the riddle of steel, Thulsa Doom?
Chewbacca didn't.
That
No, the
is
riddle of
power. So,
But my dad also enjoyed. I liked the commentary my dad kept running through the movie, and I'm just like, shh. People
So,
watch the movie, but
I know we're
it's
talking about
hilarious.
Conan instead of Star Wars, but Doug made for me a fan edit.
Well, I didn't make the fan edit.
Sorry.
I burned it.
He burned a fan edit for me of Conan, where the entire movie is done to Man of War, and it's
Oh my
amazing.
God.
It's like a
so
2-hour
good.
music video.
Oh, it's so good, and it's like edited so that it feels like a music video the whole time. It's really
I want
great.
to watch that.
It's
That sounds
great. I still got it. If you guys want to watch it.
Yeah.
But Star Wars.
More Star Wars.
Yeah.
What do you want to talk about now?
My dad was-
villains. Let's start with villains. I want
I
to
was
start
gonna
with
say my dad
villains.
was really upset when Han Solo died, and I had to explain to him that Harrison Ford does not like Star Wars, did not want to be involved in any way.
I was happy that he died because I could tell that Han Solo didn't like Star Wars anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was kind of over the Star Wars.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm going to go
He's
back
like, I've
to
been
doing
in a
my
lot of
thing.
wars and stars. I'm kind of
Bad guys. I love Domhnall Gleeson as the super cartoony
Yes.
Imperial. It was so good.
I was talking to Liam about that. Like, bureaucracy, petty bureaucracy is so much scarier to me than like Snoke's evil, because those people are just being paid to press buttons and blow up planets. Just
And they're
'cause it's
totally
their
fine with
job. It's like Snoke's, yeah, he has an evil plan, but everyone else is just there for like dental.
No,
Like-
they believe in it though. That's the point. They're raised from
Yeah.
birth.
Although I think the moment that
But it's
sold it
just
for
their
me
job.
is that it's more of a Grand Moff Tarkin versus Darth Vader thing.
Yes.
In their younger years, like when Kylo Ren is reporting to Supreme Leader Snoke and like, she got away, she did this, and then the general comes up and he's like, the weapon is ready. We're doing everything right, unlike this fucking idiot here.
Well,
He's got magic. We don't care.
Yeah,
we're
mirrors
better
that
than
totally
magic.
like, oh yeah, you're hokey magic. Let me show you the real power of the dark side, and that's this big ass laser we got.
Yeah.
And it works every time.
I think
It totally works every time.
No, it didn't work at the end. Remember that? They blew up the planet?
No, it still worked. It did everything it was supposed to do. It just blew up.
before.
Mm-hmm.
The General
If
Hux,
the rebels hadn't showed up, it would have blown up.
the guy who played General Hux nailed the part. Like I think it was great, but I wasn't intimidated by him at all. Like
I wasn't intimidated by him.
I wasn't scared by him or anything like that, just because he was so fanatical. Like, and then they will bow before us, and then I'm like, all right, well that's fine. But you know, when the Empire was actually ruling the galaxy and the Millennium Falcon got away, it wasn't like, oh, those blasted rebels. It was more of just like, it's like, all right, well, fire. Shoot them, you know. And here it's like, Commander, one of our stormtroopers is getting away. He's like, well, fire the laser cannons and stop them. Like he always looks like he's about to cry because like they're
I like
panicked.
that.
But I don't like that. I'd rather it be like, oh, we're gonna crush them. They're pathetic. Like the confidence.
Well, it's another
that
thing where
came
he's
with
not
it.
this.
One, he's not at the full force of the Empire.
I also like that. What I liked about that though is they both had to report to the same guy.
Right.
Yeah.
That was what was good about it. Is that you have the seriously scary Kylo Ren. You know that you've luckily haven't seen his face at this point. You know, and the general reporting at the same time, and Kylo Ren is like, yes, we have not discovered. She got away. It was very difficult. And this guy's like, hello. Yes, everything is going according to plan.
Kylo Ren fucked it up again.
Yes.
I told you not to send him. But no, they're both not as strong as their old movie Imperial counterparts, and I love that.
That's a good point.
Because Grand Moff Tarkin was cold and badass.
Yeah.
Where this guy is like trying to make up
In
for that.
60.
By being
Yeah.
passionate and
Yeah.
whatever, yeah.
And I'm just really happy to have like a ginger Star Wars character.
Yeah.
I was excited about that.
What's great too is if you guys haven't seen Ex Machina, both Oscar Isaac and Domhnall Gleeson are the main characters in that film. And then
I saw it today.
Oh, did you see it today?
Yeah, I watched it today.
What'd you think?
It was pretty creepy.
It's very
I
creepy.
really
film.
liked it, but it was real
It was
creepy.
a very creepy film.
It's like, oh, what is this? What it means to like? Oh,
So
no.
far of
I'll have to
the
watch
films
it.
I'm seeing, which is not all of them, it's my favorite Oscar Isaac performance.
Llewellyn Davis was
I haven't
really
seen
good.
it.
It was
I haven't
really,
seen it.
it was
I don't
really
know who
good.
that
I
is.
really liked it.
He's also going to play
He's,
Apocalypse.
yeah, he's Poe Dameron.
Apocalypse.
What?
The
Poe
actor who
Dameron
plays
he was
Dameron.
inside Llewyn Davis, and then he's going to play Apocalypse in X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh, that's Poe's real
Yeah.
name? Okay.
Yeah, Oscar
Yeah.
Isaac.
I just know him as Poe. I don't want to know
He
the
was in
real
a
names.
punk band in Miami.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
What were they called?
I don't remember.
Miami
but,
punk band.
Yeah, Miami punk band, which would actually be a great
He was
Miami
with
punk
Steve-O.
band name.
With Steve-O.
Yeah.
So, I really loved Finn as the main character.
Yes,
I enjoyed Rey.
and then he wasn't.
Yeah,
I thought Rey was
It's an
my favorite
ensemble.
character.
I liked Rey a lot, but
Yeah.
she's way better than Luke Skywalker.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta get like that. She's way better, more relatable, more interesting.
I
She
hate
made goggles
Luke
out of a
Skywalker.
stormtrooper helmet.
yeah.
She's Tank Girl. She's living in an AT-AT.
Yeah.
She is I would watch the whole movie of just her bouncing around Jakku.
Sure, but I'd much prefer the movie of just Poe and Finn
Being bros.
jamming around in a stolen TIE fighter. That would be the best Star Wars movie
Maybe
ever.
not in a TIE fighter.
They would have to. Yeah, they would barter up.
Yeah. I want them like next to each other so they can hold hands. You know, the whole backwards thing is weird.
Speaking of holding hands, there's a big meme about Finn grabbing people that he cares about,
Mm-hmm.
and of course the bromance of
Yeah,
Poe
being
and Finn.
bros.
So somebody drew this picture of just Finn carrying Poe. It says when Finn gets scared, he grabs the people he cares about.
Pose before hose.
Yeah, pose before. Oh, I like that. That's good. I haven't heard that one.
Actually,
yet.
I posted to the Hangouts so all you guys can see. Where
I just made that
it's
up.
that shot where Poe smacks Finn on the shoulder while they're walking under the X-wing.
They're getting ready for
Oh,
the
yeah.
final mission.
They turned into a panel comic where it just Finn goes, "Bro," and Poe goes, "What's up, bro?" Finn says, "Tell the world we're bros, bro." And then it says, Poe whispers, "We're bros," and he goes, "Bro, why'd you whisper?" He goes, "'Cause you're my whole world, bro." And then it ends on that shot of Finn by himself going, "Bro."
It's so good.
It's great.
I just want that film. That,
But there's
Yeah.
no character that I just point out and be like, I hate that. That was dumb. That shouldn't have been
No.
there. Everything
Except
was
for Maz Kanata. I
Maz
was not a
Kanata
fan
is
of
like
that.
Maz.
unnecessary.
Well,
A lot
the
of
thing
people
is,
didn't like
but I
Maz,
don't
but who
hate,
cares?
I don't hate her. she
But-
just wasn't necessary.
Didn't add
The
anything
thing I
to
heard
the
people were
film.
mad about, like, oh, Maz, we never heard of her before. Why is she in it?
Who gives a shit?
Who-
Didn't hear
I
about
want
Poe?
Never
more
heard,
people.
Never heard of any of these characters.
Han Solo has lived 70 years. He's met more than 4 people.
He's been to a couple
Yeah,
bars.
He's a scoundrel.
I've been
He
to more
knows
than one
people.
bar.
Yeah.
How come that's you're thinking like, oh, he's 70 years old. He's met more than 4 people, but I want him in the bloodstripe pants. You know, like why does he have?
No,
to
I'm
dress
saying
exactly
that's
like
not what I was saying. I was saying if there's one thing that he's going to keep, it's the Medal of Honor that he was given from his home planet. You know what I
It's
mean?
the medal he got at the end of Yavin, where he's bouncing up and
No,
down.
no. This is the medal he was given from Corellia for being badass.
One thing that drives me crazy about the Maz Kanata thing is you remember walking in the bar and he's like, oh well, you got to be careful. Maz Kanata's an acquired taste. You know, you got to let me do
Yeah.
the talking. And he walks in, and she just goes Han Solo, and then she's just like a normal person.
Yeah.
No, but then
It's like when
she
she walks in, she's like, "Oh, I'm going to help you guys."
Well,
and they're all like, "Oh, really?"
Reason being, apparently, a lot of Maz Kanata
Yeah.
had to change, like because the actress, I can't remember her name.
Lupita Nyong'o.
Apparently, she had difficulty
with the
interacting
mocap.
with the mocap,
Yeah.
like in giving the performance
Oh.
that she thought it deserved. And they apparently did some last minute rewriting by shuffling things around, reshooting only like reactions and stuff. If you notice, she disappears halfway through the movie, like when she's like, "Oh, you have a weapon, go!"
Yeah.
You don't see her again. And then like because originally she was supposed to go back to the Resistance base with them and like just have more stuff to do, but it just wasn't working out.
And the stuff that she's in the film for isn't very good.
Yeah, and every line you hear in the trailers is not really even in the film, and even the shot of her handing Leia the lightsaber is not in the film. So everything in the trailers you've heard or saw
doesn't
of
hand
Maz-
Handing Ray.
not Ray.
No.
In the trailer, she hands it to
she hands
Leia.
it to
Oh,
Leia.
jeez.
It's definitely Leia's
Yeah,
hand.
it's at the Resistance base, and she hands it to Leia.
What's interesting is that almost all of her lines were things that you already knew.
Yeah,
Like,
I've seen your eyes before. What?
where she's just like, "Oh, you're a man who's afraid." It's like, well, yeah, we know that.
I know
And
But
shit.
she wasn't terrible. Like,
No,
painstakingly
just
terrible.
unnecessary.
And she
Yeah.
gave like that's my biggest one of the biggest criticisms I had walking out of the movie not walking out of it,
Yeah.
but after seeing the film the first time was it didn't have a lot of pathos. Like it didn't have a lot of thoughts on the Force. It didn't have any of those softer moments that really kind of tie you to the mystical
I
side
think
of
that's way too much what the shitty prequels went into.
it. I don't. Well, they did it wrong. Like they did it
Yeah.
wrong. But like, and
Don't
I think
give
they
me
were,
that. Give me action. I'm happy with that.
but they were trying to make up for it with this character of Maz, where she's like, "I'm no Jedi, but I know the
Yeah, the
Force."
Force.
And I'm like, then what the fuck do you know? Like,
You're
if you're not
also-
a Jedi.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Close your eyes,
Let's
feel it."
be
I'm
real.
like, where are you coming from with this?
We're gonna get 20 fucking tons of that
yeah,
through Luke. We're
coming.
going. That
It's
is coming, man.
And that's what I want.
The thing where I was like, what are we even doing with this character with Maz Kanata was when Rey goes down to the basement and she finds a lightsaber and has one of the best directed flashbacks I've ever seen in a film. Like where she has the vision of her
Morphs
in the
around her,
hallway
yeah.
and it's just done really well and with obviously a lot of practical effects and it was very well done. And then Maz comes out and she's like, "Here's the thing that just happened to you, but I'm going to say it out loud."
Yeah, you
even though
had a vision. The saber calls to you.
Yeah.
It's like, all right,
But
that was
kinda
Luke
figured it out.
Skywalker. It's like no shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
we just
I'm happy
saw
that they, if the CGI wasn't working, they didn't put her in. Can you imagine her in that battle scene? If they just totally Yoda'd her, where she's jumping around
God.
fighting stormtroopers.
Actually, the other
Yeah.
rumor is that she does have some Force powers, and that she was going to force push
Well, we
some
don't know.
stormtroopers and shit. Like
Yeah,
that these are deleted scenes that they're going to be on the
And
Blu-ray.
one of the
and
things
stuff.
too is like when Finn's like, they're like, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna find this place? He goes, "Oh, I'll use the Force." And Han Solo's like, "That's not how it works, kid." It's like, fuck you, you don't know.
No, I love that. That was great. He's like, no, we'll just use it for.
No,
anybody is
and
being
guess what? He does.
Yeah.
He does use the Force.
If
He shows
anyone-
up at the right time.
If anyone is being protected by the Force, it's fucking Finn.
Yeah.
Like, that guy
No,
is.
more importantly, you get this weird thing where he's like, we gotta find Rey. I'm gonna do something really, really stupid to go find her. And then Han's just like, hey. He's like, what? Hey.
Yeah,
What?
there she
Oh.
is.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
And I also felt so because here's another thing that bothered me about Maz is he's like, "I need to go, I need a weapon, I need a blaster." She's like, "You have a weapon." He's like, "A lightsaber?"
Compared to
you,
blasters?
Are you fucking crazy? Like,
like-
I have no training whatsoever.
Yeah, I have no
with a
force
lightsaber.
powers.
I have
You know
no
what-
force powers. I'm not a Jedi. I've never picked up one of these in my life. I know how to use a blaster.
But you know how lightsabers work? It's because you have the Force, so you don't chop your own arms off.
No, you don't. Because Han Solo used it to cut open the Tauntaun.
Yeah, but I'm in an actual battle when I swing swords around a lot. You're probably gonna hit yourself in the face. with a lightsaber that would cut your own arms.
You
off?
don't, but you don't. The lightsaber, you don't even have to swing.
I love
'cause
it.
a
It looks
sword-
like, it's not like I train with swords. It's like I just swing them around a lot. I've
Yeah.
cut
The
myself.
sword,
I've
you
cut
need-
my own head
you
off
need to
19
use the
times.
weight
There's
and
no
momentum
training.
to cut
swing
something. A lightsaber is a beam of
Yeah.
light. You don't need energy behind. Just
No, you don't need energy.
No,
You
it's
could
to not
walk.
hit yourself is the
Yeah.
problem.
You could walk with a lightsaber like this and kill everything in front
No,
of you.
lightsaber fights work because
you
both-
do need strength because they like you clash a lot, and especially in Star Wars movies,
only
they clash
against
a
things
lot.
that you can't cut through.
Yeah, like other lightsabers.
But that's it.
But a lot of it is force.
Let's talk about the
And
super
tonfas.
badass,
Yeah.
the super badass stormtrooper with
But
the
I had
electric
one more
tonfa.
thing to say about Maz, and the one thing I didn't like about Maz is they walk into the bar and she yells out, "Han Solo! You can't, Han Solo! He's wanted by everyone in the galaxy. Stop yelling out his name."
That's
You're
the
in a
thing,
bar full of people. She should know better
Also,
than that.
yeah, aren't you run a bar full of
Yeah.
what are essentially pirates? Wouldn't
Yeah.
you know, like, oh man, anonymity might be kind of
sneaking
important.
in.
I imagine she does that for everybody who walks in.
Yeah. She's like, Norm!
Ro Kempo!
But I love the
Adolf Hitler. Glad to see you came out of hiding to
Space
join me at my
Hitler,
bar.
you're here. No, but the cosmic reggae. Oh, I loved it so much. That was the best.
I don't know what the big deal was going to Maz's place. It's like, all right,
To
well,
have
if
a
anyone,
cantina
yeah,
scene.
if
Yeah.
anyone can do it, Maz can help you. But you know, she's an acquired taste. She's a little weird. You got to get used to it. I'm like, oh, well, she runs a wretched hive of scum and villainy, so she's probably like cantankerous. No,
She's fine. She's a
just
sweet old lady.
and she runs that place, and she's serving drinks. Like, shouldn't she be like in the back, like Rick in Casablanca? You know,
I was
like,
imagining her like what's the character from Mass Effect who runs the bar?
I have no
Oh
idea.
yeah, I think it's almost
It
just
starts
called
with an
Mother.
A. No, it
You
starts
talking
with
about
an A.
Liara's mom?
No, the lady who runs the bar in this in
Mass Effect 2.
Mass Effect 2. Yeah, It's
Aria.
Aria's
Yeah, Aria.
bar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
I would
fuck
imagine.
with
She,
Aria.
yeah, Aria is an acquired taste.
Yeah, that's what it should have been. It should have been more
I was
like
a
Aria.
dick to her
Yeah,
every
But
time.
she was a dick to you.
Yeah,
I
she's
just
a
like-
prick.
I like seeing more villainy and scoundrelness from Han Solo and Chewie. I like them having their own ship and all that, like getting back to being villains. But I agree, Maz. Maybe not
Villains,
been the
you
best.
mean just not
Scoundrels.
heroes.
The same
Yeah,
things
scoundrels,
the
you
same
know.
things I didn't like about Maz's dialogue, I didn't like about any interaction between Han and Leia. I felt like they were just restating a bunch of shit you already knew. And that made me think that maybe that dialogue was written second.
Well, no, that's the thing. It was because there's so much stuff, especially in the third act, that was shuffled around and moved about with like, shit, now we can't explain this. Well, let's just have Harrison and Carrie talk it out.
Yeah.
Because I'm fine with. All right, so I like Adam Driver. All right, but it is a little weird casting choice that you get two like 5'8" blondes to give birth to a 6'3" Armenian man.
Well, they're
Yeah,
not
I-
blonde, but
Whatever.
Also,
Yeah.
I don't care.
He doesn't look like them. He doesn't sound like them. Like there's no.
When Han and him are standing next to each other, I got enough in the eyes and everything that I liked it.
I think you're crazy.
I think they look nothing alike.
Don't care.
Like eat it.
No, but
He might as well have been an alien.
But I just saw what they were kind of going for with them. Like they're awkward, they hadn't seen each other, and they're divorced, but they still
yeah.
love each other and everything.
Yeah.
It was enough. I don't know.
It was
It was too much.
That's my argument. Yeah, it's too much. I mean,
I'm trying not to be a
I say
fanboy,
it's too much, but like
yeah.
I still liked it.
I
you
could
know,
have
I'm
seen
not-
a little more space battle. There was a space battle.
The
Well,
problem is
the real drama was on the planet with with Han and
I'm
Chewie
saying
and
they could
everyone.
have cut some time from Leia and Han. Give
Carrie
me a little
Fisher's
more space battle.
Jada
Honestly,
was
I-
super hot in it.
I think you could have left out Han and Leia entirely and just have Chewbacca show up for all the Chewbacca scenes, which were great. and
When he shoots Kylo Ren in the dick with his bowcaster
Yeah, he does.
and saves the day.
but also no, when he detonates that shit after
Yeah.
Han gets shot, I'm like, oh yeah, Chewie, take
No,
him.
he's
Take
like-
an initiative.
Yeah, no, he's like, oh no, this game is over. You lose.
Yeah, we're doing this now.
He's like, I don't care, life debt.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, I liked
Even though he has a family at home that he should probably go check out.
Well, that's in the old
Yeah,
canon,
that's done
not the
now.
new canon.
that's
No,
the
is
Christmas
it?
special.
I don't know.
Oh,
if
man,
Disney
also-
has-
Dude, the expanded
no,
universe.
that's not expanded. That's actual movie canon.
It's not though. It's
Yes,
not.
it is.
Dude, Disney released a chart showing
Yeah.
like this and this and this and
Oh.
this. They're saying the only thing that live action that counts. They said specifically the only
Yeah.
live action stuff that counts is the prequel trilogy and original trilogy and the new trilogy.
Oh, Disney doesn't tell me what.
The only other thing besides that is the Clone Wars cartoon, the CG one,
Yeah.
and the CG Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah, they don't.
Oh,
They don't
okay.
care. They don't count
about
the
the Ewok
Tartakovsky
Adventures?
version.
Although
They
they're,
don't count. They
which
don't
is
count the Ewoks. They
insane
don't
'cause
count
it's so good.
Tartakovsky.
Yeah,
Man.
George Lucas hated the Tartakovsky
It was
version.
so good.
It was amazing.
Yeah, 'cause it was good. He hates anything that's good.
It's in fact, it's still my favorite piece of Star Wars media.
It was
Yeah,
great.
man.
It was really
Hands
good.
down.
Caravan of Courage.
But I do want to talk about some EU stuff where like I read today comic book because I was looking up Star Wars shit and it explains Poe Dameron's parents. And the comic book was kind of mediocre, but just explaining why he'd be so gung ho is great. His dad was a commando who stormed the moon of Endor, and his mom was the second in command of the A-wing squadron that led the attack on the second Death Star. So they boned afterwards. I don't know. It was like,
Yeah.
but
Fine,
he is
yeah.
he is
I'm
he
down
is
with
literally
that.
like the coming together of like two versions of rebel heroes.
In the
Awesome.
Endor Death Party as the world.
Oh yeah, no,
leader.
that's where he was conceived. Was definitely on Endor.
In an Ewok fucking hut or whatever.
Yeah.
And
in an actual Ewok fucking hut too.
Yeah, they have the special huts
That's
for
the
that.
fucking hut.
Occupied. Sorry, Luke and Leia.
That's the Ewok dance. They're
Did
just
you say
hip
sorry,
thrusting.
Luke and Leia? I think you mean Han and Leia.
No, I know what I said.
That's my headcanon.